Now we have identified skill and health-related fitness components, it is important we understand how we can assess each of these so that we are aware of our strengths and weaknesses. The way that we do this is through a variety of different fitness tests. We will firstly look at the skill-related fitness components, which you can see are listed down the left-hand side, and the fitness tests are pictured on the right-hand side of the screen. We will now look at which fitness test measures which component of fitness, but if you would like to attempt to do this beforehand by yourself, then please pause the recording now. Okay, so the first component of fitness we'll look at is agility, and hopefully you was able to link this to number 5, which is the Illinois Agility Test. This test obviously assesses agility, and the course is set up like the one you can see in the diagram, which requires participants to run around quickly and change direction on numerous occasions. The run is timed and the aim is to complete the course as quickly as possible. Next, we'll look at the second component, which is balance. And obviously, as you can clearly see from the diagram, the related test to this is number 3, which is a standing stalk test. This simply requires you to put your foot on the knee of your other leg and hold the position as long as possible. If your foot touches the floor or comes away from your knee, then you must stop the time. The test for coordination is number 4, which is the wall toss test, which simply requires you to stand opposite a wall and with a tennis ball or something similar, throw the ball against the wall with one hand and catch it with your opposite hand. The amount of times that you can do this in 30 seconds is your score and will give you your result. The test for power is number 1, which is the standing long jump. For this test you simply stand behind a line and with both feet from a standing position jump forward, and your distance is measured from your furthest point back from where you land. In addition to this, you could also identify the sergeant jump or the vertical jump as another test for power. Hopefully you was able to identify that the fitness test for reaction time was number 6, which is the ruler drop test. To carry out this test, you simply hold your hand out at 0 centimeters and somebody drops a ruler and releases it. You have to react and stop the ruler as quickly as you can, and your score is taken from the number of centimeters at which you stop the ruler. Finally, the last skill-related fitness component is speed, and the only test left is number 2, which is the 35-meter sprint. To carry out this test, from a standing position you are simply timed to see how long it takes you to cover a distance of 35 meters. Hopefully you now have a good understanding of the fitness tests which are required to assess skill-related fitness components, and we will now do the same and look at which fitness tests are required in order to assess health-related fitness components. Now on screen you can see the health-related fitness components. If you would like to test yourself and try to identify which tests are needed for which components before the tests are shown on screen, please pause the recording and do so now. On screen now you can see each of the fitness tests, and for flexibility you can see that the test for this is a sit and reach test. To carry out this test you use a sit and reach box, sit down with your legs straight and your knees against the floor and see how far you can reach beyond your toes. The next component is muscular endurance, and as you can see a test for this is a sit-up test which looks at how many sit-ups you can perform in 1 minute. Other tests for muscular endurance could be the press-up test or the Harvard step test, which involves stepping up and down onto a bench. The test for muscular strength, as you can see, is the grip strength test. This is performed using a hand grip dynamometer and squeezing this as tightly as possible, and your score is displayed on screen once you have performed the test. The next health-related fitness component is cardiovascular fitness, and the test for this, as you can see, is the bleep test. This is a test performed over 20 meters which you must run continually in time with the beeps. The longer you go, the higher score that you will get. An alternative test for cardiovascular fitness is the Cooper run, which is a 12-minute continuous run and will measure how many meters you cover in this set time. The final health-related fitness component is body composition, and one of the most common tests for this is the skin fold test, which measures how much fat you have on your body. Hopefully now you have a good understanding of the skill-related and health-related fitness components and the fitness tests that are used to assess each of these. One other thing to consider is that before you start or complete any type of exercise program or any type of fitness tests, that you complete a PAR-Q. It is also important that you can describe and explain what a PAR-Q is and why it's needed, because this comes up quite often in the exam, either in the multiple choice questions at the start or in the short answer questions later on. A PAR-Q is a physical activity readiness questionnaire, and this needs completing before exercise because it outlines your medical history, any medical conditions or any previous sporting injuries or illnesses. Once you have completed the questionnaire and you are happy with your current medical condition, then you can start to gradually increase your level of physical activity and look to complete your exercise programs.